I stumbled into a whirlwind of good luck, then discovered the catch. It doesn't matter where, what city, state, or country. Late at night, in a quiet alley or a dark street corner, you can find my antique store. It isn't grandiose or puffed up. Rather, it's a quaint, cozy little store, nestled comfortably in between whatever buildings surround it at the time. There, swaying in the midnight breeze above our door, you'll find a sign that reads, Fortune's Toll Antique Shop. It's open to all, young and old, needy and wealthy. However, we are tailored to one specific sort of people, desperate ones. We're here to help, and we do the best we can. We've heard it all. I can't afford rent this month. My loved one's health took a turn for the worse. I got fired from my job. Any and every problem has been or will eventually be brought to us. We've been around for longer than anyone can remember, and will continue to exist for as long as there are needy people. The merchandise lining our shelves is as diverse as it gets. High-quality art supplies, typewriters, bicycles, furniture. We have anything and everything you could ever need. However, the physical merchandise is not what brings customers in through that old oaken door. No, what keeps us in business is our primary line of trade. While we do sell antiques, we also deal in the trade of miracles. Of course, as with every business, our product isn't free. If it were, we'd be quite the charitable organization. But alas, that is not how this works. Still, prices are agreed upon before purchase. We don't deal in stereotypical horror movie tropes wherein one unknowingly pays for something with their own soul or some other nonsense along those lines. There are full contracts written and signed with every purchase. The greater the feat being bargained for, the higher the price of the antique. To give an easy example, say someone wanted to win the lottery. We would sell them one of our antique coins we keep behind the counter. All they would need to do is buy a lottery ticket with these old coins, and they would win without fail. A smaller lottery may cost them less, perhaps knocking a few days off of their lifespan, or taking some belonging away from them that they value. However, if you wanted to win a real prize, the kind that would ensure that neither you or your children would ever need to work again, the price would be far, far steeper. I can provide some examples of a few of the contacts I've seen that have stuck out to me over my time working here. 2 years ago, an elderly man strolled in through our door early in the morning. He had lost his hearing in his old age, and we offered him a contract. We sold him a pair of hearing aids that would restore hearing to a state even better than before. However, he would lose his left eye. He took our deal after a good bit of explanation. After all, having 1.5 senses trumps 1 sense, I suppose. Next, last year, a young lady came moping into our store. She hadn't been able to sleep, and her midnight walk had led her here. I discovered that she had her heart broken by her unfaithful lover. To numb her pain, we provided her with a leather journal to pour her negative emotions into. For instance, she could write the word sad and immediately be incapable of sadness for the next year. As the contract we gave her explained, with every negative emotion, a positive one had to be given up too. The most extreme example I've ever seen was 3 months ago. A newlywed couple burst into our door, arguing with harsh whispers. After I introduced myself and after some prodding, I discovered they had been trying for a baby. They had visited a doctor a week before and had received some rather upsetting news. The husband was incapable of having children. So, happy to offer them a solution. A contract was drafted to sell them an old crib. They were to keep it in their bedroom when they slept. A month later, they were pregnant. I told you the cost could be steep. In this case, the price was the lives of their parents. 4 lives for one seemed harsh to me. But then again, considering the parents were well-aged, perhaps the sum of remaining years in each person's lifespan was the key factor. To be clear, I don't make the contracts. I'm just the clerk. I've never actually met my boss. I was once just like any other customer, a desperate man at the end of my rope. But for some reason, I was offered a different kind of deal. I guess the store needed a clerk. I'm not sure what happened to the last one, but I was offered the job. I had been scouring the store for a solution to my problem. I was freshly fired and at risk of being evicted when I found a note neatly placed on the counter with my name written in cursive letters on the front. I opened it and found my contract. I'm sure I don't need to explain what choice I made. The pay is good. I'm not wealthy, but I make enough to be comfortable. I would never have stolen from here. My employer has to know that. It wouldn't make sense for me to. I've been a perfect employee. It began a week ago, with small, relatively unexplainable coincidences. On my way to work, I stepped on a $20 bill. My favorite restaurant had overbooked, and to make up for it, I got a free meal. My paycheck last week had a small bonus that came with it. Then it started to snowball. My broken dishwasher seemingly fixed itself, working perfectly once again. On slow days, I sometimes switch on the radio to pass the time. That same afternoon, I won competition on the channel I usually listen to for a vacation to Panama, one I hadn't entered. I got an email a few days ago informing me I had inherited $50,000 from a relative I had never known. At this point, I had become suspicious. I searched through my house for anything I could recognize from the antique store. After an hour of searching, I found it. Sitting in my coat pocket was a silver embroidered pocket watch. My heart sank. I hadn't meant to take it home. I had been polishing it to return to the shelves when a customer came up to ask me about an item. I must have slipped it into my coat pocket and forgotten about it. I'm not a thief. My boss must know that. I tried to return it. I went straight back and returned the item to its home on the shelves. But it was too late. Once an item leaves the store, it belongs to whoever took it. I knocked on the door to my boss's office, but it was empty. I honestly don't know if there has ever been someone in that room. On top of that, I can't call anyone. There isn't exactly a helpline for this. Fortune's Toll Antique Shop has no policy against theft. If someone does steal, we simply let them go with a smile and a wave, because when you steal from here, you are only robbing yourself. Without drafting a contract for an item, you deprive yourself of the safety those long clauses and limitations provide. The item and the price that accompanies it are no longer limited by the degree of miracle that is intended. In cases like these, you could be trading your life for something as small as a free sandwich. That isn't to say the price becomes random. The correlation between degree and price still exists. It's only far more risky. For example, finding some change in your pocket could cost you your hands. A scratch-off ticket for $50 could cost you a loved one. A new car could cost you most of your years. My luck hasn't stopped yet, but I know that when it does, I'll have hell to pay. So far, I've found $20, a free meal, a trip to Panama, and inherited another $50,000. I don't know what it will cost me, but I've drafted up my will already. I have no immediate family, which is a relief. At least this impending doom will be confined to just me. All that is left for me to do is to enjoy my luck until the moment that it runs out. Because when it does, it's very likely that I will expire with it. My time is almost here. When I arrived at work today, I found a man reading something by my desk. After I inquired, he told me he had found a note on the counter, one with his name written on it in neat cursive letters.